guys, Robbie46 here, welcome yourselves back to MotoGP 17. Let's continue with Managerial Career Mode and aboard that horrible Honda which we've been struggling with for the first few races. Let's see if we can get on with it in the next few races. One of you guys, Tomaz Scareget, did send me a setup, which is what I'm going to use for this race, suspension-wise. And let's hope that that kind of cures a few of the problems that I'm having with the Honda. My main issue with the Honda is stability and the rear end. The rear end just destroys the rear tyre and it just steps out a hell of a lot. And yeah, the brakes aren't that great either. So see what we can do. Medium front, hard rear. Let's see what we can do at Jerez aboard our Honda. Let's go. Well, that was a decent start on the Honda. Probably the best start we've had so far on it. Into the first corner. People all over the place. Make up a few on the brakes, and we got it stopped as well. The inside of Petrucci. Can we get him? Yes, we can. Is he going to come back through though, because we've got him very wide? No, he's not. Okay, so 11th place at the moment, just behind Cal Crutchlow aboard his LCR Honda. Of course, running Castrol colours this weekend at Silverstone. How are we on the brakes here? Oh, we're pretty good on the brakes here. We've got Crutchlow. Can we get Espargaro? Yes, we can. Okay. Zarco's up next, but we're on the wrong side of him. He comes back underneath us. Can we get underneath him into the left-hander? We forced him a little bit wide. And yes, we got him. But that was Pedrosa who's just crashed out of 4th place, so he was struggling aboard his Repsol Honda. But so far, the Honda is feeling a bit better. It's still not feeling that great, but it's definitely feeling better. It's definitely a step in the right direction in terms of setup-wise and feeling for the bike as a whole. So we're just behind Rossi as we go very wide. And then we've got Iannone and Vinales. Vinales is our main rival in the championship, but we're going to get a good run on them both. In fact, we may get Iannone as well. Yes, we do. So we're up to 4th place. Lorenzo is in 2nd. Dovi 3rd. Marquez is leading at the moment. Let's see if we can get with the front guys and see if we can battle with them. But yeah, not having too many rear end issues at this track. They're still stepping out a little bit, but nowhere near as much as what it did in the first 3 races. So the setup so far is definitely a step in the right direction. Definitely feel a bit more comfortable. I've also got to get used to not taking too much corner speeding, just picking the bike up and firing out at corners. So obviously that's the way the Honda is ridden. So that's what we've got to try and adapt to do. Hopefully that will help us progress with the Honda as well. Of course, we've got upgrades as well, which are in development. Come on. So we've caught up to the back of Dovizioso. Can we get Dovi anywhere? Aboard our HRC colour scheme for our Honda as well. Okay, we've got a good run there. Are we going to outbrake him? A little nudge there. Okay, so we eventually got through into 3rd place. Lorenzo is our next target. Will Dovi respond? I don't think he will. He's nowhere near close enough. So we set the fastest lap again. Now we've got to try and deal with Lorenzo. Marquez just starting to pull away a bit now. So he's not having any troubles with his Honda. Because his is a much higher spec than ours. This is going to be a good place to get Lorenzo up the inside. Yeah, we pretty much blocked past him there. Stopped him from accelerating around the corner. So 2nd place. Can we get Marquez? We need to see what that gap is first. So the split is 1.2 seconds. That is the gap to Marquez. Can we catch up to him? I'm going to have to push for the next few laps because I don't think it's going to be easy to catch up to him. If we're aboard the Suzuki or even the Ducati, I think we would catch him pretty easily, but on this bike, we have to work a hell of a lot harder. Definitely does not suit my playstyle at all, this bike. Struggled with it in previous MotoGP games, and it's exactly the same story with MotoGP 17. Struggling with the Honda. But not as bad as the first few races. Like I said, this setup has definitely helped a little bit. So let's hope that we can get up to Marquez. We need to see, you know, needs to crash out of 7th. We need to see that split over the line. 1.1, it's come down. So we are just edging towards Marquez. I think if we're going to get him, it's going to be more towards the end of the race. Still struggling to get the Honda stopped in time for some of the corners. Hopefully a few more brake upgrades will help with that. Oh, it's under a second. That's a good thing. We can square this corner off. Fire the thing out. It's under a second at the moment. I think it's gone back up though. I'm pretty sure it's gone back up. Yeah, just over a second. Come on. Tyres are fine at the moment. I don't think we're going to go into any tyre issues in this race. We need to catch him. Definitely closer. Really? We're not. It's 1.1. I think it's just the nature of that corner. It's quite a slow corner. Come on. We need to get him. I don't know if we're going to be able to, because that gap just yo-yos from just over a second to just under a second. Over the line, it's going to be, well, 0.8. That's the closest it's ever been. Well, since the beginning of the race, anyway. It's going to be a tight one, this. It's going to be very tight indeed. But we are visibly closer now. We are catching Marquez. We're not catching him rapidly, but we are slowly catching him. Seems to eke out a little bit there, but it is... well, it's still under a second, so that is a big plus. Come on. .8 still. Come on. Oh, that helped. That was a good run through there. Be about half a second as I went on the grass there. That was a bit of a mistake there. That's going to lose me a bit of time and a bit of ground. Just having to try extra hard on this bike. It's not always paying off. 0.7. It's going to be a very close finish to this race. Got wide again, but not too bad. Okay, now we're definitely closer. That's going to be under half a second now. It is. It's 0.2 of a second. We are basically with Marquez now. Honda versus Honda. Factory Honda versus satellite Honda. Probably the worst spec Honda on the grid. Underneath him. Here we go. We're going to go for the lead. We are ahead of Marquez. Is he going to come back underneath? We're going a bit wide. Yes, he does. But we're on the correct side for the right-hander. Going a bit wide ourselves. He's coming up underneath, but we're going to hang it there. Oh, side by side. He's come back through into the lead, but we brake later than him. Is he going to square the corner off and get a better run out? No, he's not. Okay, so we're in the lead. Can we pull away from him? That's what we're going to have to try and do. So far this race, we've had to try. We've definitely had to try. 0.2 over Marquez. That's not big enough at the moment. We've got one whole lap to go. Crutchlow's crashed out. Some of the Hondas really struggling through here. Whoa! Okay, going over that curb almost cost me the race there because the front was going. So we've lost the lead. We're going to gain that back pretty soon. Here we go. Back into the lead. Is Marquez going to come up the inside? He's not. Okay, so now we've got it all to do on this lap. Just see if we can stay in the lead and not make any mistakes to allow Marquez back through. That was a huge mistake going over that curb through that right-hand kink. Because that almost cost us the entire race. And would have cost us a shitload of points. We're already behind in the championship race at the moment. Gone wide there. Come on. Square it off. We can do this. Are we going to have 2 wins in a row? Because, of course, we won in the last race in the last video at Circuit the Americas. This will be our second successive win aboard the Honda. We're pulling away from Marquez. Tyres are nearly completely cooked. I cannot believe how badly this bike chews up tyres, front and rear. I can't go any harder with the tyres because it doesn't exist. Right, stay away from the inside curb, Robbo. Good. 1 corner left to go, and we are going to win our second race aboard the Honda. Just a run to the line. We've got this. Marquez is not going to trouble us. And there we go! Hurrah! We done it! Took a little while to get to the front. We had to try, but we got there in the end. Still over 20 points behind. Well, we are exactly 20 points behind Maverick Vinales in the championship, so still a hell of a lot of work to do. But hopefully in the next couple of races we'll get some more points on him and catch back up. So these wins, we definitely need them. Let's hope we can continue this fashion and continue getting the wins to give us all the points we need to catch Vinales in the championship. So at least it's under a whole race win's worth now. So if Vinales happens to have a crash or something and we win, then we're going to really eat into his lead. So, Rodriguez got second, Freddie Allen third, Mia Fisher 25th, Dominguez second, we won, and Morgan got 14th. So just Mia Fisher, who is struggling in Moto2 at the moment. A load of people saying it's actually a female. Well, I suppose with a name like Mia, I guess it could be. So, okay, we'll refer to her as a she from now on, Mia Fisher, who I believe is the first ever, well, is the first ever Moto3 world champion. But she's not doing so well in Moto2. Let's get these activities out the way. Okay, so let's get these done. And we'll have another one to do as well. Just do that as well. Social network. Alright. So that's that done. Right, Le Mans. Now, I've done something very, very strange. I've decided to load my league setup, my Yamaha setup for the Honda for this race. I just want to see how it compares to the Yamaha. So, yeah, I've got my Yamaha setup for the Honda, so this could go drastically wrong because obviously it's not a Yamaha. Someone's crashed there, that's Lorenzo. Lorenzo's crashed already. We've got the inside of a few of them. Oh, Lorenzo spawned. That's the trouble with crashing at that first corner. The game spawns you in the chicane. We're up to 11th already. In fact, we're up to 9th. So yeah, my suspension is my Yamaha suspension. My gears is my Yamaha gears. My handlebars is my Yamaha handlebars. Rake and trail anyway. So yeah, it's definitely going to be an interesting race. We're already up to 7th though, so it's a great start. And I know what lap times I was doing on that Yamaha. I was in the 128, so we're going to see how this Honda compares. And how I compare to the Yamaha on the Honda. Oh, they're in the way. We've gone in too deep. We almost crashed. We had a front and a rear slide there. Two-wheel drifting into that corner, but both Crutchlow and Pedrosa are right in the way when I didn't want them to be. The inside of Crutchlow, let's get Pedrosa as well because he annoyed us just a minute ago. Final corner. Okay. So yeah, very experimental setup for my Honda. But at the moment it's working alright. I wasn't expecting it to feel like it does. It doesn't feel too bad considering the setup is mainly for a Yamaha. But it's working. It's feeling good. So we almost had that crash on the first lap. That was just because both Pedrosa and Crutchlow took up all the track room to avoid them. But it looks like Vinales is trying to make a breakaway at the front. Marquez has just got Rossi. We're almost on these guys now. Right, at least this time no one will be in our way when we get on the brakes. It wasn't too bad through there. Spinning up on the exit, but then the Yamaha done that anyway. Oh, we got on the brakes into here. We are with Dovizioso. We're on the wrong side of him though. Come back underneath, get a good run out. We're up to 4th, we've got Dovi. And we're right with Marquez. Okay. But again, when we get past both Marquez and Rossi, we've got a huge gap to try and chase down. On the brakes. Ooh, a bit of a collision there with Marquez, but we got him out the way. Right, Rossi's up next. Up the inside of him. Kind of, there we go. Eventually got through. So, we need to see the gaps to Vinales. Come on. What is that gap? Here comes the split. 1.4 seconds. That was the exact gap that was from me to Marquez at Jerez. So yeah, we've got it all to do again. We've got to do another Jerez, but this time at Le Mans. Rabat has crashed. Let's see what the gap is out of here. Come down to 10th. Oh, very wide there. So there's 2 races we have to chase the leader down. We're just starting to pull away from Rossi in 3rd. It's almost a second. It's 0.8 at the moment. Vinales, it's just over a second. Last season on the Ducati, it was between me and Vinales as well. And I know that I had to fight with him, and then I cocked up on the penultimate lap, and then I had to chase him down again on the final lap to take the win. Marquez has moved down to 5th. But yeah, I'm actually quite surprised how well this setup feels on this bike. Like I said, it's a setup that I used in the Le Mans race aboard my Tech 3 Yamaha. But it feels alright on the Honda. Oh, a bit too hot into there. 1.2. Oh, it's going to be another Jerez. It's going to happen towards the end of the race. Just trying to keep it relatively smooth. Corner, very wide there. Okay, so what's it going to be over the line? Under a second. Into the chicane. Oh, a bit hot into there that time. But yeah, we are closing in on Viñales. Slowly but surely we're getting there. 0.7. Let's come down another tenth. It seems to be this next corner we're struggling for rear grip coming out of the corner. That's where he seems to extend his lead a little bit. He manages to get it fired out the corner a bit better than we can. It's opening up the gap again to 0.8. And the second part of this flip-flop as well, he manages to pull out a bit more of a gap. We're not going in there the best that we can. We're going in there a bit too hot. So next lap we need to try and make it a bit earlier on the brakes. But we are basically with Maverick Viñales now. I almost called him Marquez then. Because they're so used to doing that at Jerez, but we're right on him now. Come on. But our lap time's nowhere near what we were doing in the league race. Just goes to show how slow this Honda is, how hard we're having to push it. So where can we get Viñales? Right with him. We're on the penultimate lap. This is when we got Marquez in the last race. Up the inside here. Nope, not close enough. Not close enough to outbrake him into this corner either. Good run out, can we? Not as good as Viñales, but it wasn't too bad. Maybe into here, maybe go wide. A little bit on the exit, but okay. I don't really want to outbrake him into the flip-flop because I know that I'll just outbrake myself. Closing. That's better. Hit the apex. We're good on the brakes into this corner. That's where we seem to make up most of our time. Oh, we're on the wrong side. Shove up the inside here. On the curb. And we got him. So we've got one more lap to go. Can we break Viñales? Okay, here we go. Baz has crashed. Loris Baz crashing out of his home Grand Prix. Now we need to see if we can pull away from Viñales. So as I've already mentioned a little bit with Crutchloner's Castrol colour scheme this weekend, I am of course going to be at Silverstone, be going up very early tomorrow morning, Saturday morning, and then spending the weekend at Silverstone for the MotoGP. Cannot wait. I love Silverstone, I love MotoGP, and just love the whole atmosphere of the whole weekend. So really looking forward to that. If any of you guys are going to Silverstone as well, I hope you have a fantastic weekend. Hoping the weather stays dry. I mean, it's sunny there at the moment, which is good. So if it continues throughout the whole weekend. But we have definitely broken Viñales now. Okay. It's almost up to a second. We've only got a few corners left to go. Okay. Just the final corner to go. The final 2 corners, I just treat it as 1 corner. And there we go. It's going to be another win aboard our Honda. Really surprised how well my Yamaha setup worked on that Honda. Felt pretty good. Felt in control of it for the first time. And we beat Vinales, so we will only gain 5 points on him. A teammate, he didn't finish inside the points, unfortunately. So yeah, move up to 2nd place. Just behind Vinales. We're only 15 points behind him now. So it's going to be interesting to see what he can get in the next race and what we can do as we surf our Honda. Cool, let's see how our other teams got on in Moto3 and Moto2. And after the next race we will do the points as well. So Rodriguez, he got 3rd. Freddie Allen got 2nd again. Mia Fisher 24th. Dominguez got the win, so that's good. Obviously, we won in MotoGP. So not too bad. Mia Fisher just still struggling on that Calyx, despite the fact that it is fully upgraded. But is there any R&D that needs to be done? Nope, but there will be after we do the activity day. Then we can do another R&D. So let's just do that. Booster course, that's a good one to do. Just keeps all your staff on contract for an extra 2 weeks. Alright, so that's that done. So R&D should be ready to do another one. So let's go do one on the Honda because it's the only thing that we've got left to do. So brakes has been done at the moment. Let's do the... We haven't done any on the frame, so I'm thinking frame or suspension. We'll do suspension actually. I think frame will be the next one we do after Managerial. Managerial, track I like. So let's see what we can do on the Honda. It's a wet Managerial. However, the skies are pretty clear, so... Oh, I don't know what Alicia Spargo was doing there. He was... don't know, zigzagging. But anyway, yeah, the skies are pretty clear, so I don't want to make this assumption like I did in the previous season when I got completely wrong. But I do believe that the track will in fact dry in this race. I did think that in Phillip Island when we were aboard the Ducati and it started raining again, but it looks like it is going to dry. But we're already in the points. Already up to 13th place. And we got Marquez as well. So up to 11th. Marquez struggling with the opening of this race at the moment. We're up to 9th. Basically making places up left, right and centre. Obviously the AI struggle a bit in the wet. We've gone very wide there. Very wide. And we've lost a shitload of places. Sorry, Alish. We're up to 14th now, or down to 14th as we get a couple of places back. So Mugello is one of those tracks that, it's a strange one, it's a real nice circuit, but it's got a big flow to it, and you know, the key to this track is keeping that rhythm, keeping that flow, because as soon as you get in a battle, and obviously your flow's going to be disrupted, so is your rhythm. And that's when you start losing a hell of a lot of time, which, you know, this is the next track for the league. And if we get battles in the league, then I don't think anyone's going to be able to pull away because, like I said, flow is key here because every corner flows nicely into another corner, apart from the last one and the first one because you've got that big-ass long straight. But yeah, all the corners flow into each other, and you just got to keep it nice and clean, and make sure that your lines are all good. We're spinning up on the curb there a bit, but we're in 7th place. That isn't too bad. Rossi done the fastest first lap, but I don't think he will, because I think we're going to get that. Oh, we're going to be out overtaken, are we? Are they going to outbrake us? They're not. So Pedrosa is our next victim. So try and go underneath him. And we got him. Eventually it tells us we got the fastest lap. We just got Lorenzo. So 5th place at the moment. Can we get any higher? I think we will. Like I said, the AI do struggle a bit around here. Well, in the wet they do, not in the dry. We actually struggled against the AI in the dry last season on board the Ducati. Didn't get anywhere near the podium. But we're out to make amends this season aboard our Honda. Again, similar suspension setup to what I use at Le Mans. Obviously, I had to soften it a bit because it's wet. But I didn't load the setup from Le Mans because otherwise that would have glitched the setup and then the game would have thought that I was running in the dry. And then you get a huge advantage and can do dry lap times instead of wet ones. So I basically just had to look at my suspension and transfer it over from scratch. We are 4th place. We are just behind the leaders. Well, the actual leader's got quite a big gap. The leader's Rossi. So we've got to get these two up next, which is Dovizioso and Vinales by the looks of it. Again, if we can beat Vinales, that's who we need to beat. He's our main rival. But if we can put Rossi in between us and Vinales as we try and get Dovizioso, and that will obviously help in the point situation. I'm hoping that Dovi can get him as well, because if Dovi does get him, that is really going to help us out in the championship. We've got Dovi though. Maybe we need to get in front of Vinales, slow him down a little bit to allow Dovi to come through. Shove out the inside here. No, not close enough. He's gone a bit wide though. We're using the dry line. He was on the wet part of the track. Okay. Dovi staying right behind us. Oh, we've got a good run there. I think we'll probably get him through this quick chicane coming up. Or even here. Rossi went very wide. They almost went off track, but we got Vinales. We're up to 2nd. Come on, Dovi, get ahead of him. We're almost with Rossi already. So we're on the back of Valentino Rossi as his home Grand Prix, and it's obviously Dovi's as well, and Ducati's. Slipstream in. Is that going to work with the Honda? It is. We're reeling them in. Lap number 4 and we're in the lead. I thought he was going to have a look at the inside, but he didn't do it. Now let's see if we can pull away. Because there's still that little bit of a gap between Rossi and Vinales. Can we drag Rossi away from Vinales? Because we want Rossi to get that 2nd place, because that will help us out in the championship, and that's what we need. But we're just starting to edge away from Rossi now, and that's what we want to do. The Honda definitely works in the wet. It's almost half a second over Rossi at the moment, so it's not a huge lead. Hopefully that will extend the more and more laps we do. We've still got 2 laps to go after this one. So Rossi's, we're not dropping him hugely at the moment. A bit wide there. Can we cut that back? Yeah, we can. Back on the apex and out we come. Through the chicane. It's almost up to a second to Rossi. It will be over a second now. Scott Reddin's crashed. Aboard the Pramac Ducati. Our rear stepped out a bit there, but I was a bit late on the brakes. Okay, run to the line. It's going to be over a second, well over a second. Yeah. Done the fastest lap again. So this is a penultimate lap. We've got one more lap to go. And then... well, it's good, looking like it's not only going to be a hat-trick of victories. It's going to be a quadruple consecutive victory. Obviously winning at Circuit Americas, the last race in the last video. We won at Jerez, we won at Le Mans, and it's looking like we're going to win at Mugello as well. Getting our championship off to a better start now. We needed these, well, these 4 wins now. Well, I am speaking a bit too soon. There's still a lot that can go horribly wrong. Tyres is not going to come into it. Our tyres are absolutely fine. But mistakes happen. I do make mistakes occasionally. We've seen that. We saw that at Argentina, where we made exactly the same mistake this season as we did last season. Just clip the inside curb on the right hand kink before the back straight. So anything can happen, but I'm going to do my best to make sure that we just stay in the lead and we take our 4th victory of the season. And hopefully Rossi can keep Vinales in 3rd place. It would be nice if Dovi could get him, but I think Dovi is too far back from him now. So we're going to have to settle for Vinales coming 3rd place. Obviously that won't give us the title lead just yet, but that is going to move us well within range of Vinales. Really going to close that gap up. It's over 2 seconds now. We are on the final lap at Mugello. We've got a big dry line now. See, this is when you need the flag to flag stuff to be in the game. So obviously I wouldn't pit on the last lap, I'd just stay out. But they would need to make sure that the softs, the wets don't work on a drying track at all, and that they do destroy themselves and that you do struggle on them. Otherwise there wouldn't be any point in pitting at all. But yeah, if we're doing like a full race distance race and this was a track on lap number 6, and I definitely would come into the pit, change bikes, get on the slicks and see what we can do on there. Obviously there's still wet patches around, but the racing line is definitely bone dry. And we are going to take our 4th victory of the season. Just got the last sector to negotiate around. Don't even have to try, we can just cruise round. Through the chicane. Just a final corner to go and the long run to the line, but it is going to be another victory for us aboard the Honda. Definitely made a step in the right direction with the setups in these 3 races. Like I said, the one that really surprised me with this was the Le Mans setup, my Yamaha setup, which worked on the Honda. There we go! That is our 4th race win of the season. We're going to have to see what that's done to the championship, because that is really going to close it up. Our teammate. Oh, 21st. Oh, look at that. That is definitely closed up now. We're not far behind him. So it won't be long before, well, unless anything else goes wrong, which could do. But hopefully we will be back at the top of the championship fairly soon. But we have to wait and see what happens in the next 3 races and see what we can do. Obviously, Ducati in the wet we struggled because the rear just destroyed itself. The Honda, not too bad on a wet track which dried. I was actually quite surprised considering it really destroys its tyres in the dry. So I was expecting more of the same in the wet, but no, it's fine. Do I still hate this bike? Yeah, pretty much. I don't... It is growing on me, but I still prefer the Ducati and the Suzuki, and of course the Yamaha as well. But it is nice to have a bit of a challenge and have to really fight to win races and stuff, especially at Jerez and Le Mans when we had a big gap to close down, but luckily we managed to do it. R&D stuff. Just do that quickly. So Honda, right, this time we're definitely going to do the frame, because we haven't done any frame upgrades. And then we need to check out the championship points for Moto3 and Moto2 to see where we are, where our team is. So, Moto3, they are second and third. Rodriguez 5 points behind Joan Mir. So, very close at the top there. So, that's good. And then Moto2. Our guy... Oh, he's leading! I was scrolling down, but couldn't even see him. But yeah, he's leading, so that's good. That's where we want him to be. But obviously, Mia Fisher, she is not in the points at all. Anyway, guys, that is it from me. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to leave this video a like if you enjoyed it. Enjoy your weekend. Subscribe to my channel for more content. I shall see you guys in the next video. See you!